Hello, Toffees, and welcome back to the Andy's Man Club Mersey Blue podcast. So today we are going to cover the AS Roma friendly. We're going to talk about the Legends game, and we are going to finish off with our thoughts about pre-season in general, and maybe a little bit about Leeds United a week on Monday. So with me, as always, I have my first wingman, Carl. How are you, lad?
Great, thank you, Nick.
Okay, and we've got joining us from the great state of Michigan, US, our friend Mark. How are you, lad?
Great, boys. Nice to see you again. Happy to be here. Excited for the pod.
Okay, let's rock and roll then. Before we start, boys, I've got 3 words for you. Jackie, fucking Grealish. Carl, what's happening?
Well, it's fun and busted, from what I believe. He's had his medical this afternoon. Bar the announcement, and you know how long it takes Everton to announce anything. It's like they have to do all the videos and all the promos, which I think are going to be amazing. And that might take a day or so to get that up, but I expect tomorrow, big headline, that he signs on loan with a 50 million buyout clause at the end of the season if we won it. Which I think is expensive because he's 31. He'll be 31 then. But
do you know what, though? The lad has a point to prove, doesn't he? I think he's going to be fantastic. I think if we get enough out of him, 50 million at the end of the season, so say, I don't know if you believe in figures, it's between 12 and 20 for the loan fee or wages and that. So even call it 20, that's 70 mil. Excuse me. But if he can give us even 3 years of the Jack Grealish that was at Aston Villa, we've got to be going places, and I think that's fantastic. Mark, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm liking what I'm hearing. It sounds like it's going to be all things go. The holdup was the terms and whether or not he wanted to come. From what I'm hearing around, he's keen on the move. He spoke to some former Evertonians and some guys in management who wanted to make clear that this is not a business move for him necessarily, but that a club that he would want to, grow his legend. And I think it's fantastic. I think his personality suits our club and our culture. And I think it'd be a great addition, not just for what he brings on the pitch, but he's going to be obviously a very experienced presence in the room. For the younger guys, I think he'll be inspirational and he'll be a little bit of a whip. If he's playing as well as we know he can play, then he's going to be pushing the other players to try to compete with him. And I think we need that right.
Yeah, he's top drawer, isn't he? He will be like that. I'm going to apologise, boys. My throat was terrible. I've got a brew and I've got a glass of juice. Sorry to the listeners there. Yeah, he is going to be that marquee signing, isn't he? He really is. It's going to be Everton Football Club have arrived at that big old stadium on the Royal Blue Mersey. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, guys, so talking of that beautiful stadium on the Royal Blue Mersey, that leads us nicely onto AS Roma, our final pre-season game. So, team out, 4-2-3-1, the new Moisey formation it appears. Jordan Pickford between the sticks. Big Jake O'Brien, Tarkovsky, Branthwaite, Mikalenko. We'll talk more about him later. In the midfield, Garner Guy, Charlie Alcaraz. In front of them, Jimmy Garner, the little magician, debut boy, Dewsbury Hall, and Barry leading the line. So when I saw that lineup, I was quite excited about it. I mean, obviously we were saying last episode about KDH and what he's going to bring, but what are your thoughts, Mark? What do you think about his debut? Because I think he was pretty solid.
Well, I think you can summarize what he's brought to the team in one play. There was a time there where he's coming out of our end and he got about to midfield, and the Roma player had no choice but to wrap him up and tackle him U.S. football style. I mean, he straight up grabbed a hold of his shirt and brought him down. And we know that kid's got wheels, and if defenders are going to have to make plays like that, taking a yellow card in order to slow him down, then he's doing his job. I really like what little I saw. I have to make an admission. I wasn't able to watch the entire match. I was only able to watch the highlights, so I didn't see what you guys had. If at some point, Nick, we can address, I want to address something that's going on with the app. because I thought that match was going to be available to the official supporters and on Everton TV. I wasn't able to get it, so I have to apologize. I'm not as prepared as you guys, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you, Mark. I was busy Saturday afternoon. I caught the highlights and all the other bits and bobs and whatever. However, I did see a lot of stuff on Facebook groups with Blues saying and showing screenshots that they basically couldn't get in via the official app.
Yeah.
So someone somewhere has dropped the ball. Carl, can you throw any light on that for us?
What I did is I logged onto the website, obviously signed up, paid the $7.99 that it was for the match, and then screened it to my TV. Like, what you call it? So it came up on the TV, even though basically what's on my phone was on the TV. So I just did that, and it was fine. I didn't have a problem. Enjoyed it, and then obviously the Legends game, which we'll go on to later, that was on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't able to even get that option. So when I open up my app, it says, it's got my profile there, official supporter, blah blah blah. But when you get the little yellow marker indicating that Everton is live, and then you go over into the extras and you click on Everton TV, it said, "Sorry, this match is only available for official supporters." And
It
I
was
was like,
strange
"Well,
because they did come across and say it wasn't allowed to be shown in Italy. But I thought the rest of the world it was fine. I didn't realise there was an issue, which is a bit of a shame.
well,
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
hope that they get it sorted before the season."
Yeah, that does need addressing for all our fans, US fan base, everyone around the world there. Definitely. So the game was solved with only one goal. That was Sule after 70 minutes. I don't know who played the ball through to him, but it was a cracking ball from like the halfway line. Lad picked it up on the edge of the area. He just looked up, he hit it with his left peg, and he just put it in the back of the net. In my opinion, Geordie couldn't do anything about it. We got beat by a good goal. Lads, what do you think, Carl?
Yeah, he was probably their best player watching it overall. I mean, we had some great moments, especially in the first half. I think it was first half with Njai when I think he was in the corner flag. And he healed it. Just, there were like two or three players around him. Just the skill was unbelievable. So, as much as we're going on about Jack Grealish and we all love him and we want him in our team, I'm not sure where he's going to fit in or how he's going to fit it in.
Well, I'll tell you what.
There's so much skill on board.
Yeah, everyone knows like my love, like you guys, of the Little Magician. So I'm certainly not like downgrading him for Jackie G, but I am like really, really excited over Jackie G. What were your thoughts about that goal, Mark? Cracking goal to lose a game too. If it's a pre-season game, innit?
Yeah, it was a good goal. It wasn't necessarily because of any mistakes we made. I mean, we're going to face some good players. And regarding that little snippet of Ndai playing the ball out of the corner, I saw that clip with it was the commentary from Snods and Diamond, and Graham Stewart just goes, everybody just hang it up. We've just seen, a little bit of magic. There's no stopping that. He sets the bar so high, and it was really good to see. But on that note, did anybody happen to notice that he made the same mistake that Pato did? He made the same mistake that O'Brien did. He tried to foot it back to Pickford and kicked it too soft, and it almost ended up in the back of our net. So I don't know if that's a strategy flaw, philosophy flaw that needs to be worked out from Moisey on down, but I keep seeing guys try to make this pass while we're under a good amount of pressure back to Jordan, and it's not going the way that it's designed to go.
I got the impression with Jordan that he was a bit. He hasn't started off the season, the preseason very well. I mean, I think he did the same last year. It took him quite a few games into the season before he really got into his stride.
Yeah, I think that like I've been saying, like last couple of episodes as well. It's thankfully it's pre-season. Touch on your point, Mark. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's about. So this sort of trying to play through to play it back. I'm old school. I believe if in doubt, boot it out. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look pretty, but it's bloody effective, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd rather surrender a throw in or a corner or anything besides a goal, obviously. And I like to see, it's nice to see how much these guys trust each other. But um, I think that's a flawed approach um, in trying to make that play when you're being pressured because you look. I don't care how good you are, you can't see behind you, and even if you have great field presence, these guys are top notch athletes, and they can close that distance in microseconds. So um, they either got to do better passes or they got to stop doing that. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we did have our chances though, didn't we? And the last player I really do want to talk about is KDH in his debut. He had a corner, didn't he? He put over Tarky. I think he was on the near post, was he? No, he was from the far post till lie, sorry. He had it looked more across than actually on target. And there was that through ball. It was about 20 minutes gone, I think. He played it through to Thierry Barry, and Barry kind of like ran on like down like the left side into the area. And I don't know whether he fluffed his lines. Obviously, I think he was trying to bring it back over onto his other foot, maybe because the ball just kind of scuffed. He passed another one through to Barry again, who had like a long range shot. In my opinion, the whole game until he went off basically like ran through him. What do you reckon, Carl? KDH in his debut?
I think he was absolutely overall. I think he was the best player, as you say, until he went off. For a debut like that, you couldn't have asked for a better debut. He was here, there, and everywhere in the first half, especially. The chances, the main bulk of chances that Everton had came through him.
He really did. Do you want to give us your thoughts on KDH before we go to the break, Mark?
Yeah. So again, I got the condensed highlights. What I saw, he got my Hustle of the Week award. He's just got such separation speed that the one poor lad, the only thing he could do was grab onto him and hang on. I think he's going to be a huge addition. There's a lot of downplay of this kid coming from some, I don't know what you call them, influencers, commenters. One guy was saying Everton are suckers for buying Chelsea's flops, but I don't see how you can say, a 20-year-old that didn't get much playing time on a squad that's got 40 players is a flop. That's hardly a flop. I think we found a real diamond in the rough, and he's going to be solid for us at least on the hustle end. And I love his attitude.
Yeah, 100%. I was really impressed. I really was. Before we go to the break, the brain surgeons who make them kind of comments, I think it's either a little bit of jealousy in there because I think it was daylight robbery. I really do. And this kid is going to prove that. Okay, so we're going to leave it there and go to a quick break and a word from our sponsors, the amazing Andy's Man Club. Life is hard and we all have bad days. There are times when we feel we can't cope. This is the time we need to reach out and talk to someone. Andy's Man Club offers local support groups nationwide, running every Monday from 7pm except on bank holidays. In these groups, men can open up about the issues affecting their lives in a safe, non-judgmental environment. Our clubs are designed to be free of pressure. There is no obligation for men to speak, they can simply listen if they wish. Find us today at www.andysmanclub.co.uk. Help one guy, save one life. Andy's Man Club, it's good to talk. Welcome back, guys. Remember, Andy's Man Club, it's good to talk. Okay, so talking of which, let's do it. So the Legends game, Mark. The Legends of Everton done a little bit better than the first team of Everton, and we won 2-0. Give us your quick thoughts and tell us about being impressed by your boy.
Yeah. Bainesy looked good, swatting balls all over the place like he's still in the squad. It was cool to see Reedy come on. I think at 69 years old, enthusiastic as ever. My other boy Jags, I think he scored one of the goals. Did he not?
He did.
Yeah, love Jagielka. I'd love to see him do. Lost my train of thought there. I'd like to see him do like Bainesy and get a job with the club. In the office. He is a local guy, is he not? Is he not from Liverpool?
No, I think he's from Sheffield, though.
Oh, from Sheffield. Okay.
Yeah, Jags is a Yorkshire boy. Bainesy is closer. Like you say, he's got the job there, hasn't he? But I'm sure Jags will be back one day. We all love him, don't we? Carl, your thoughts?
on the Legends game, I thought it was so good. I mean, as you say, Leighton Baines put that corner in right onto Jags' head. It was like
Yeah.
he could play on Monday to get Minkolenko, to get Arsenal. He's our left back.
Yeah,
He's just
Bainesy really impressed me. That put a smile on my face. Like you guys touched on there, the opening goal, winding back the years, that beautiful left peg right over to the near post, and there was a big Jags to bang it one home and bring back the old glory days, though, lads. So, yeah, really, really happy with that one. Second goal was quite interesting. A player we didn't really see an awful lot of back in the day, Jose Baxter, chased down what looked like a dead ball. It was going down to the byline. Put a little bit of the old physical shoulder on the lad, managed to hook it across, and there was Stevie Naismith literally on the goal line, like a Gary Lineker style goal, just to tap it in. That was nice to see, a goal for Stevie.
Yeah, to be fair, but he loved it.
Yeah, it's absolutely superb, wasn't it? The only thing I had to say to finish off for me personally was, like you boys had touched on there, 69-year-old Peter Reid. We were talking off air before the show, and we were saying about him, weren't we? And it put a smile like the Joker on my face, from ear to ear when I seen him come on. He didn't play a ball wrong. Just for a split second, it took me back to them glory days of the 80s. And I'm getting I've got tingles on the back of my neck now, just like the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. God bless Peter Reid. Has anybody else got anything further to add for the Legends game?
Do you happen to know how old that Foddy player was for Roma?
No.
He's got to be at least in his late 40s or probably 50s. But did you see the aerial bicycle kick he did from the top of the box? I mean, I know he's not a toffee, but to watch an old timer come out and make a play like that, I mean, I was just impressed. We're probably the same age, and I have a hard time getting out of bed, let alone a bicycle kick like that from the top of the box.
I was impressed with Yakubu as well. I thought he played with a smile on his face from start to finish. I mean, I think he was just unlucky not to get a goal.
Feed the yak and he will score.
I think he said he was 31. He's more like 40. He's got one of Nigerian passports, doesn't he? So
he's more like 61. God bless the yak, but it's amazing to see him, wasn't it? And that goal he ruled offside. What a horrible linesman! You'd give him to the yak, wouldn't you? So let's just wrap up with the pre-season then. So we beat Port Vale behind closed doors at the Dixie. We drew with United, and we had losses to Accrington, Blackburn, Bournemouth, West Ham, and Roma. That's 1 win, 5 losses, and a draw. I personally am not too bothered about it. The real stuff starts next week, which we'll talk about in a minute. Mark, how did that pre-season go? Because you were obviously there at Soldier Field as well to see the Blues.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, try not to worry about it too much because it's just the preseason. But you always want to see your team win, especially when they go on a tour to help grow the fanship in other parts of the world that haven't been in the traditional market. So hard to do that when you're not putting in the greatest effort. My real concern for the preseason is the signings or lack thereof. But it sounds like with this Jack Grealish business and then the KDH that we're moving in the right direction. I'd like if we were doing it a little bit more expeditiously. It is what it is, and I don't know what's going on behind those doors. That's all I have to say, pretty much. I'm ready to get moving. I'm nervous about Leeds. I just got some preseason jitters, and I hope the boys have worked those out. But I'm ready to put one in the win column and to accumulate some of those points against those promoted teams, so that when it does come time to face the shite and the Arsenals and the Chelseas, that we got a little bit of padding in case we have a rough go there.
Yeah, good points. Carl, give us your quick summary and your final thoughts on the pre-season. It hasn't been amazing, but what do you reckon, lad?
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, isn't it? And certain players have really benefited from a decent pre-season, like of Njai. I mean, I know Keenan Juice-Bihol has only had 60 minutes for us, but he's been playing for Chelsea, hasn't he, in the Club World Cup and stuff like that. So he is relatively fit and he was ready to start straight away. So on that side of things, it's good. As regards to transfers, I think we're going to have at least another one in this week Do you reckon the talks might resume again with Southampton for Dibbling on Thursday? So whether that's going to happen, or you need somebody on at least another one in this week, and then we maybe get like a couple of loans as well for Leeds.
Yeah, a couple of things regarding the transfers. One, I was going to ask you guys, is this Dibbling thing still on the table? It's according to you, Carl, it sounds like it is. But I wanted to ask you, this Fabrizio Romano, I think the guy's damaging his credibility. Did you guys see the narrative he tried to push that he's for sale?
Yeah, I'll address Tyler Diblin first. From the stories over this side of the pond, he is still training alone, and it appears that Everton have walked away from the deal. But they may well come back and address it. Fabrizio Romano is, in my opinion, he's quite a good source. He has the famous "here we go," and 9 times out of 10 it does happen. Carl might be able to add a little bit more on Fab and give us a couple of thoughts as well on Diblin at Southampton.
You never ever get Everton news right. It's always like, oh yeah, it's going to happen, then doesn't. So he seems to put the curse on Everton transfers. But 99% of the other stuff, he gets right and it happens. Within a short time frame. So whether it's just that Everton he's got a curse with or what. But I do think the Dibbling thing, I think they might come down in price. Southampton, and I think that will happen because he wants to come. So rather than having an unhappy player, you may as well get 30 or 40 million that you can spend now.
I misspoke a little bit. Right before I turn it back to you, Nick, I said I can't believe that this guy's pushing the narrative that this guy's for sale. And what I didn't say was that he said that Iliman Ndiaye is for sale to Inter. There's not a snowball's chance in hell that that's going to happen. That's not even good sense. What is the point of putting out a turd like that?
Yeah, that is. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know what he's smoking, to be honest. The little magician's going nowhere. Carl, final thoughts?
I think Milan were linked with a couple of wingers and whatnot. And I think his name was just thrown into the hat. It's just a random thing and he's picked up on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything really. Like, if they don't get this player they really want, then they might try and throw in a sneaky bid for Ndiaye, which we turn 12 wrap off, to be fair. But
yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, I mean, to anybody with 2 eyeballs and a half-functioning brain, he's the key component on the offensive end of the pitch. To our rebuild, I don't know that you could put a price tag on him. He's too good, and I honestly believe he would crack any lineup in the Premiership or any club in Europe. He's top notch. There's no way he's for sale. I was just surprised to see that come from a reputable source like Fabrizio. I know, Carl, he's your favorite. You like to pass on bits from him all the time, and I was just surprised to see that. A little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, fair. That was a surprising one, but I think I can't see a world where Everton let the little magician go. So let's wrap up then, boys. A week tonight, Ellen Road, Leeds United away. I personally think we're going to sneak it with a 1-0. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think we're going to have too much for them, more so when my boy Jackie G arrives. Carl, give us your prediction and a couple of quick thoughts before we wrap up.
2-0, definitely. Barry will get his first goal. Having Grealish sitting behind him in the number 10. I mean, I think what will happen with him is he'll swap with Ndiaye, so he'll be on the left, he'll be in the middle, and Ndiaye will be on the left and in the middle, and he'll be able to follow both of them. So I reckon 2-0, Barry will get a goal, and maybe Illy will get the second.
Sounds good to me, mate. Mark, prediction, final thoughts, bud.
Yeah, we're going to go up to Bell End Road and take away 3 points. I've been following the boards online, and they're talking mad shit already. I mean, that's a passionate club, and can't fault them for that. But and they're geeked to be back in the Premiership, but it ain't going to happen. I didn't have anything to say so far in the show about Barry, but watching him in the highlights, that guy's got a crazy touch and such a long stride and a wide gait. Did you guys see the I don't know what you call it in football, but in hockey we call it the how's she going. The ball came in from about 60 yards back. He touched it with his right foot, put it around the guy, and then leaped around the other side and, got about a 5-yard gap on him before he passed it back to the center of the pitch. And I don't know why he did that. I don't know if he lost his footing or what, but that guy is a threat. Every time I see him in odd man numbers, with his speed and his height, he's going to be dangerous. I know he hasn't had any points yet, but he's creating a lot of opportunity. And I got to agree with Carl. I think he's going to pick up a bucket or maybe get an assist. He's definitely going to cause a lot of chaos.
When you've got Grealish, threading him in, KVH threading him in, and Dye threading him in. And when we get our elusive right winger that we need, he's going to be supplied with a lot of chances. And yeah, it'll take him his time. He's only 22. So, people need to get off his back. Because I've heard a few shouts already saying he's rubbish, this, that, and the other. He's a young kid who's just turned up in a new country. And he's had a couple of... He hasn't even played a full 90 minutes yet. So, give him his chance and he will take it.
Yeah. Go on, Mark, quickly before we go, mate.
Yeah, to expand upon Carl's point, he is 22. He's new here. Our job as the fans, we can't be following this guy to the train station and shouting him down and getting down on him on the social media, because these young guys, they read the stuff on the social media and it takes the wind out of their sails, and that's not helping. So I'm hoping that despite being bitter, twisted, and blue the way we are, that people will use some good judgment and a little bit of patience and give this guy some room, because I think we got a cracking squad going forward even with the holes that we're addressing, and we got a great leadership in Mersey and great ownership now, right? And a brand new barn. It looks fantastic. Just so many positives. I don't want to get it soured by picking on our new striker. I think he's going to have a great future with us.
Yeah, do you know what? I think we'll finish on those points there, Mark. They're Everton players, and we get behind them. There's always going to be a section of the fan base that is going to, do that. They expect like the league title right now, stuff like that. Illy, KDH, Jackie when he turns up tomorrow. That's a scary damn front line. Backup striker again, because Chimitti's got to go out on loan. And that's a topic for like another video, another podcast and stuff. But we are going to leave it there. We've been waffling for half an hour, boys. So firstly, thank you for joining me in this pre-season few episodes. Carl, an absolute pleasure to have you on board as always, bud.
My pleasure, mate.
And Mark, we love having you. You're always welcome, pal.
It's great to be here. Love doing the pod. Looking forward to getting some real meat off the bone next week after we go up to Bell End Road, and I'm excited for the season. I'm ready for us to settle in and do this for real. So let's fucking go up the fucking Toffees.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say turn round and finish for us. Up the fucking Toffees, and we'll see you all after Leeds.